Good afternoon. No, I can't. What am I saying? I fucking know the rest. I hate doing it. Why are you still filming? It's embarrassing. We're the Pathfinders, and we've come to Martock today to investigate especially the church, but we're having a look at the surrounding village as well. Martock is a Saxon word meaning rising bright from the shining sea, which is quite intriguing.
Martock.
So I'll pass you over to the next expert, Filippo, who'll tell you some more.
Well, Martock, or Martock, or the Martock, as it was originally called,
In the Doomsday
was basically, it was owned by Queen Edith, who was married to Godwin, and our home of Burnham-on-Sea has a little hamlet called Edith Mead, where she had a castle, which is still there, which we will investigate one day.
So that's linked to here then?
Linked.
Where are we going first?
It's linked possibly by a tunnel. It'll be a long tunnel. We haven't discovered the entrance yet, but I reckon it's there.
or the exit.
Rob, do you know anything about Martock?
No, I'm just here because I look good on camera.
Right. You've just had 2 mints, now inhale quickly.
Jeez!
Christ, my lungs are frozen.
What a rush.
How do yours feel, Phil? Oh dear. Scott's had to ring someone up to make sure he's still alive.
His jaw's frozen.
Let's go. Well, we found a heart safe. What's that about?
Well, before you go in the church, you leave your heart in there.
Yeah.
So as not to affect your viewing of the church. You know, you don't want to feel too heavy or too emotional when you're in there. So you just leave them in this box, which apparently keeps them going. It's like £1 for 10 minutes, I think.
Have you left your heart in there?
Yeah, mine's in there. The boys have got to do theirs.
Ring in the Pathfinder's bell.
Let's go, quick.
I think they had quarry wars where the Blue Lias Brigade were fighting the Ham Brigade to decide which stone they were going to use to build the village.
They were the first edition of Stoners, weren't they?
Wow. You'd have to ask Phil about that. Because he's
Stone-
the 5th edition.
Are we going to go around this way? And then...
It's a nice old door.
What is the explanation of why they have a big door on the end that never gets used? Do you think it's something to do with the horse-drawn times?
I don't know. I suppose once upon a time it would have been used a lot, but...
You know? I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
Found some effigies,
Ooh!
much like ones in Barrow. A little bit less weather-beaten, but they've got a nice cover of moss on them. So we'll try and find out a little bit about these when we go inside.
So we've come to All Saints Church here in Martock today, and luckily the vicar Paul is here, and so we can grill him a bit about some information about the place because it's quite remarkable. So what can you tell us, Paul?
Well, lovely to have you here. Welcome to All Saints. Well, this is the second largest parish church in Somerset. The biggest one is St Cuthbert's, just opposite the Cathedral in Wells. This is the second largest, which for a small town like this, small village like this, is pretty remarkable, really. And partly the reason for that is money, of course. In times past, It's believed that William the Conqueror gave quite a bit of money to the village here for help that they gave, and that was invested in the treasurer's house opposite, which is the National Trust property, and in the church here. And then wool trade across this part of Somerset was very good. And so you get a church that began, the oldest part is just at the back, that back wall there's probably 13th century, it's the oldest part of the church. And then you get add-ons as you go along, so Victorian add-ons, side chapels are added, and the nave itself was slightly extended.
So was the help that they gave to William the Conqueror in helping him drive the Saxons away or converting them or something?
I think it was help, military help, I think, or people help. And as far as we know, and of course the church itself has been updated. I mean, the ceiling is 800 years old. That's probably it's the most amazing feature.
That's fantastic. Isn't it?
Older than Hampton Court, when you think about that. That's pretty incredible. And how they did it, who can tell? I mean, it's a remarkable height to get all that wood up there.
And what is it you call the high gallery of windows?
The clerestory windows.
Clerestory?
Yeah, so these are, so they're lit in the light, so in the mornings particularly with this hamstone, which is a really yellow, lovely stone. Yeah. The light coming in here is absolutely beautiful. We've got the spotlights on today because I just had the school in, but natural lighting here is good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You've got all the like angles covered, I mean, with that window there, and these two here.
Yeah.
Group of bell ringers?
Yeah, we have. Didn't have when I first arrived here 3 years ago. We had 2 left. Some had retired, some had got too old. We did an open day a year ago, and folk from the village came with kids. 25 people turned up, rammed into the bell tower, and out of that we got 10 bell ringers,
fabulous.
Which is amazing.
That's a great story.
And they've done a year long. They've been at it now, learning, and it's so difficult to learn, but they've done incredibly.
And what is bell ringing called? What's the word for it?
Campanology.
Campanology. Yeah, that's an unusual one, that.
Campanologist. Yeah.
Can we ask about the organ as well? Because that was really pretty. Is it, how old is that one?
That is a Victorian organ, actually, just early Victorian. But that was actually renovated and restored about 20 or 30 years ago. But it's a lovely organ, actually. You get some very...
Do you play?
No. There's a YouTube video, if anyone's interested, of All Saints Church organ being played. A guy came recently to do a concert, and he did a little YouTube illustrating how much you can get out of that thing, and it is quite remarkable. All Saints Martock Church organ, YouTube, have a look, and you'll see.
It wasn't Brian Eno, was it?
No, it wasn't.
One other question about the hamstone.
Yeah.
Is it, Scott found out there's a quarry in
Stoke-up-Hampton?
Stoke-up-Hampton, yeah. So the whole village seems to be made of the hamstone.
That's what makes it quite different.
It is.
Because Blue Lias land is just over Long Load.
Yes.
And then when you see all this yellow, which just puts you to the mind of Cotswold kind of.
Yes, it does.
Look.
Yeah,
very
or
much like
Bathstone. Have they got like a thing where every building has to be made out of this? Or is it just happens to be that's where it
when
was
they were
local
building,
one.
it was a local material. It was fairly nearby. You could
Yeah.
ferry it across with horses and
It's
carts
lovely.
and go for it.
Yeah.
Which is what they did. But the skill to do what they've done and the carvings here, it's still remarkable.
Yeah.
We had the Civil War here. Cromwell's men were billeted here, so they slept in the church.
Oh, wow.
So when they actually did a bit of work on the ceiling, they found sort of a shot from obviously guns that have been fired up into the roof.
Wow.
Because they were pretty vandals, really. They just kind of wrecked everything. And
We wondered if that's why some of the statues were missing. Would they have always been painted, or?
Yeah, some of them. No, those were always painted. Yeah, those reliefs in those little niches are all paintings. And then, someone not that long ago added a little couple of figures here at the front that he made himself, carved himself, and they were put up there. Each of those is the apostles. So you've got different of the apostles in the niche, the niches. There's a particular grave out there in the churchyard, which people locally are fascinated by, because it's the tomb of a servant girl who was a black girl who was brought over from the West Indies, who served here and died here in service. So she was obviously a slave, and she's buried, and she's called Princess Beatrice or something. She's just out there.
Right.
But yes, it's a local story. But obviously, she couldn't afford that grave, but her master did it.
So they must have thought a lot of her then.
Thought a lot of
obviously.
her. Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
Yeah.
How long have you been a vicar here?
3 years.
And were you a vicar before that?
Yeah, before I was in Devon, down near Crediton. I don't know if you know Crediton.
Oh,
Devon.
right.
Yeah, in a little parish, rural parish, but like here, rural, in a place called Sandford, about 2 miles out of Crediton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
And
Lovely to be here.
do you have a large congregation still? Like, how are numbers? And
We have
things?
about 62 here on a Sunday, which is quite good for a small village, because it's quite small. And I've got 3 other churches that I look after as well. One in Kingsbury, one in Ash, just over there, and one in Muttlemy, which is where the big floods come.
Yeah.
St Peter and St Paul Muttlemy. That's well worth a view.
There's a lot of history there in Muttlemy.
Yeah, there is. Tiny little church, but the ceiling is remarkable. Quite remarkable.
And
The
is
mural on it is quite unusual.
Is there an abbey near?
Yeah, much on the
Imagine
Abbey.
the Abbey, isn't it?
Yeah, right behind the church is
Yeah.
the Abbey. You can actually visit the ruins,
Yeah.
and the church is right next to it. Right adjacent.
That would have been
King
that would have been
Alfred's,
dropped in the dissolution, I suppose.
Yeah,
Abbey.
exactly. They all went by the by, some of them.
Yeah.
A bit like,
And I think that was a bit all about that,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, I think Henry
More about that than
he was
anything
af-
else, really.
He was after the gold.
He was a bit canny.
He was a bit.
Well, brilliant. Thank you ever so much.
Lovely to see you
Very
guys.
much.
Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your travels.
Thank you.
Wherever you're going next.
A 1920s coffin cart. A 1920s coffin cart. Not used anymore, is it, Paul?
Not used anymore now.
Replaced by coffee carts now.
Yeah, that's right. yes.
Yeah.
It is going to be adopted by a local funeral director.
It's even got rubber on the.
Yeah, it's perished on the wheels. It's not in great condition.
So is this for, these handles were for lifting these?
Yeah, I think you could lift the frame off probably. So the coffin.
Take the coffin with it and then it runs on
Yeah.
these little wheels.
Yeah, that's why you
Slide
slide
it
it
off.
on.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, you slide it on.
I've never seen one of these.
Yeah, so we do, and that would be usually there'd be something sticking out there, so we can screw that and wedge the coffin.
Did it get brakes on it or?
You don't get brakes on it.
Does it
You've got a
move?
bit of
Oh,
suspension.
yeah, it does. Yeah, I can see the leaf springs.
Yeah, you've got some reasonable suspension.
That's quite amazing. It's good old technology, isn't it? I mean,
Well, if you've got a you've got a fair way to travel. I mean, as out of here, if you go down the church path, to the west door and down that long path, it's quite a way. So to carry a coffin, these days, they use trolleys.
you there?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're on. Yep.
Excellent. Thanks for that.
No, that's all right.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Little idiosyncrasies of All Saints Church.
Oh, that's like the wheels.
Yeah, the wheels slip.
like articulated.
Yeah, and then and that's the steering part. So you've got the handle of the steering.
That's amazing.
They're quite bizarre, isn't
You're making use of that these days, right? We're about to leave the church. We had a great talk with Paul, the vicar, and we've had such an interesting time here that they've got a donation machine. So I'm going to donate £3 Press the button. £3 to All Saints Church of Martock. Thank you very much, Paul.
So we're outside Martock graveyard, All Saints Church, and look at this fabulous tree. This tree sucks the remaining life from the bodies in the graveyard and spreads it out into the universe with love.
It looks like it's had a wild time, doesn't it?
It's very battered, but it's just an amazing structure, natural structure.
The tree.
The tree. Don't know, it looked like Brian Blessed.
Well,
I thought I just saw Brian Blessed down there.
this is the place for him. Blessed be thy Scott. Let's go and have a look.
Oh, there he is, Brian Blessed.
And as we were exploring Martock, we see this building has been contaminated by Boley Skuse. They were assigned the job of fitting the middle window, and as you can see, it's not as level as you could hope for. And after this incident, they were shunned from the village just to remain in Burnham-on-Sea.
That's probably 6 inches out of level.
It's pretty good.
Any idea
It's
why
another
they did
level.
Any idea why they did these sort of works in the surrounding areas of Burnham?
Well, I think they had a foreman that was, if you say he's not the brightest spark, he was one marble short of a penneth. So we can't name names.
Is this his handiwork?
We don't want to be sued. Yeah, I mean, look at the lintel above the door. I mean, they just did the whole central section. Popals did the rest. Boley Skuse just had to build the middle part, and it's just a typical Boley Skuse job. Podget and Scarpa, they used to call them. That was the nickname.
Creating landmarks wherever they go.
Exactly. I mean, at least you can say it's interesting,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say?
Did they do something in Pisa as well?
I think they might have done.
Yeah.
That was when they were on their 6 weeks vacation.
On the road.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Wow. Smaller wheels than you think. Here we are at a bridge house in Martock. The blue plaque on the wall here is really interesting about this guy called William Westcott. And that, I don't know if you can read it, probably can't see it from there, especially as you're pointing at me. Anyways, apparently he was a supreme magus for the Society of the Rosicrucians in Anglia. He was the founder of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and master of the occult.
What the hell is that?
So he might have been Alistair Crowley. I don't know when he was alive, but he could have been alive at the same time. He might have been influenced by this dude. He sounds really interesting. Coroner for Central London, local physician for 9 years, founder of the Westcott Hermetic Library, and author of many books on medicine, the occult, and Freemasonry.
There we go.
So that is a pretty epic dude.
He sounds freaky.
And this house is another that's made out of this stone that you were talking about. That's a bit like Cotswold stone.
Yeah, Ham Stone from Stoke Subhandon Quarry, the other side of the A303. I think it's still in operation, but it's like a bath stone, so it's quite easy to manipulate into these geometric blocks. Rather than
Tell them lies, and they come here and build a house.
Well, each to their own. But yeah, Bridge House. Check it out. Very interesting. We've discovered that Martock's actually quite a liberal, I don't know if it's a village or a town, but anyway, dwelling place. As you can see, you've got this sort of thing showing through windows. Obviously don't mind what kids think.
Is it a sign?
Well, it's pointy enough to be a sign, isn't it? And then you've got Toad in this window over here, look. So kids are coming towards that and then all of a sudden they get an eye full of that. It's a bit of an eye-opener, isn't it, you know? Each to their own, I guess. Democrats are doing well in this town.
Old mill by the stream, Nelly Dean.
Do you think there's actually a mill here, Scott?
A meal or a mill?
A million voices.
I'm not sure. Rob, what's the percentage of the mill round here?
0.2. There's no way that Reen, it's not even flowing very fast. No way it's going to turn a mill.
1,000,000 to 1.
It's 1,000,000 to 1. 1,000,000 to 1 shot. No, it's pathetic.
Let's sort of here, Mady Mill Stream look. But I don't really know where it is in relation to us.
That's the name of the lane, wasn't it? It said.
Well, that's a 303. On here, there's. Hold on.
It's a car mill, so when the cars hit it, it just spins it. And they make flour. It's the most economical way. Cars are going anyway.
Like a drive-through.
Maybe it's
drive-through
related to
mill.
that French girl, millimeter.
Just get a puff of flour out the other end every time you drive through it.
Don't know. No, I don't know.
Well, should we close it here?
It shows the lane. See the lane shows us.
We're on a lane.
We're on
Lowest
a lane.
on a lane. It's probably from the past.
Is it a good time to close this one off, Scott? Have you enjoyed Martock?
It's been absolutely fabulous.
I've loved it.
It's a shame that Phil's gone down with the flu.
Yeah, we've lost one, but
Yeah.
it's part of the course. It takes it out of you.
It's hard work, this, isn't it?
Really is.
It's a lot of walking.
One of us usually flakes by the end. Sometimes I can't even make it to the episodes because I feel the exhaustion before I go.
The present is quite a painful place sometimes, isn't it? That's why we spend our time.
Indeed, and we've all
past.
we've got new kit. Rob's got new trousers. I got new trousers. I've got a badge here in honour of an excellent rock band that used to be in the Somerset region. They were powerful as pie.
Check them out on the tube.
Punchy.
On YouTube. Anyway,
Yes, it's been a good afternoon.
until next time.
Good afternoon.
See you later, guys.